When it comes to investing, most people obsess over finding the perfect strategy. But the real edge isn't in picking stocks, it's in holding them. The science shows that discipline, patience, and emotional control often outperform constant tweaking and jumping between strategies. In the long run, it's not about timing the market, it's about timing the market. Discipline beats strategy because even the best plan fails if you can't stick to it. Let's explore why mastering your mindset is the ultimate investment skill. Today we will talk about the science of holding, why discipline beats strategy. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. Strategy versus discipline. The core difference. In investing, many people believe the right strategy is the key to success. They spend countless hours researching stocks, timing markets, and building complex portfolios. However, strategy alone does not guarantee success. What often matters more is discipline, the ability to stick to a plan, especially during volatile or emotionally challenging times. A perfect strategy without discipline will fail because markets inevitably test patience and resolve. Strategy tells you what to do, but discipline ensures you actually do it, even when it's uncomfortable. Investors who chase new strategies without mastering discipline often underperform because they get caught in cycles of buying high and selling low. On the other hand, disciplined investors may follow simple strategies, like index investing or dollar-cost averaging, but outperform because they stay the course. 2. Behavioral biases, the enemies of holding. Human psychology is naturally wired to react emotionally to gains and losses, which is why discipline is so difficult to maintain. Cognitive biases such as loss aversion, recency bias, and overconfidence constantly challenge our ability to hold investments through thick and thin. Loss aversion makes the pain of losing feel much greater than the pleasure of winning, causing investors to sell too soon when markets dip. Recency bias pushes people to overreact to short-term trends, making them believe a recent market crash or boom will last forever. Overconfidence leads to excessive trading, as investors falsely believe they can predict short-term movements. These biases create a powerful psychological trap that derails even the smartest strategies. The science of holding is about recognizing and defending against these mental pitfalls. 3. Timing the market versus timing the market. One of the most widely proven investment truths is that timing the market beats timing the market. Countless studies, including those from J. Morgan and Fidelity, show that missing just a few of the best-performing days in the market can drastically reduce long-term returns. Yet, in pursuit of market timing, investors often sell after drops and wait too long to re-enter, missing these critical days. The science of holding demonstrates that staying fully invested, even through downturns, provides a better chance of capturing overall market growth. Timing the market is nearly impossible, even for professionals. Markets are driven by millions of variables, and predicting short-term movements is a guessing game. On the other hand, holding through volatility allows compound interest to work its magic uninterrupted. 4. Historical proof. Winners hold, losers fold. The track record of history shows that the best-performing investors are not the best market timers. They are the best holders. Take the example of Fidelity's internal study, which reportedly found that their best-performing accounts belonged to investors who had either forgotten about them or had passed away. Why? Because they did not trade. They simply held their investments and let time do the work. Consider long-term holders of companies like Amazon, Apple, or Microsoft. These investors endured massive price swings, occasional crashes, and prolonged stagnation, yet those who held on through these cycles reaped life-changing gains. Meanwhile, countless traders exited too soon, missing out on the long-term compounding. 5. Volatility is normal. Embrace the ride. Many investors mistakenly believe that market drops are abnormal or dangerous, but volatility is the natural state of financial markets. According to historical data, corrections of 10% happen nearly every year, and bear markets of 20% or more occur roughly once every 5 years. Yet markets over time have trended consistently upward. The science of holding teaches us to expect volatility, not fear it. If you panic during normal market cycles, you risk locking in losses that would have otherwise recovered. Volatility tests discipline because it triggers instinctive fight-or-flight responses. However, investors who understand that these swings are part of the process can view downturns as temporary setbacks rather than permanent threats. It is discipline, not constant strategic adjustment, that keeps investors steady during these periods. 6. Compound interest rewards patience. Albert Einstein is often quoted as saying, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world." The magic of compounding is the primary reason why discipline outpaces strategy. Compounding works exponentially. Small, consistent returns multiply into significant wealth over long periods. But the key to unlocking this power is time, which means you must stay invested and avoid disrupting the compounding process. Frequent trading, emotional selling, or switching strategies prematurely all interrupt compounding. The science of holding is essentially about allowing compound interest to function without interference. Consider this: if you achieve a 7% annual return, your money doubles approximately every 10 years. If you continuously pull out or switch strategies, you restart this process, drastically reducing potential gains. 7. The cost of emotional mistakes. Emotional investing is one of the biggest wealth destroyers, and the lack of discipline often leads to poor decisions at the worst possible times. Data from DLBAR's quantitative analysis of investor behavior consistently shows that the average investor earns far less than the market's average return, primarily because they buy high and sell low. Fear, greed, impatience, and herd mentality cause investors to abandon their strategies during market turbulence. The science of holding is about recognizing that emotional mistakes are predictable and avoidable. Selling in panic or chasing hot trends often leads to wealth erosion rather than growth. Many investors overestimate their risk tolerance until they face actual losses, causing them to sell at a loss and miss out on the recovery. Discipline acts as a defense against these errors by forcing you to adhere to your plan regardless of market sentiment. Behavioral finance experts repeatedly stress that controlling emotions is more important than picking winning stocks. Holding through fear, excitement, and doubt separates successful investors from the rest. 8. Building unshakable discipline. While the science of holding is well supported by research, it's not easy to apply in real life. Building unshakable discipline requires deliberate effort and mental training. One of the most effective ways is through process-based investing, focusing on systems rather than outcomes. For example, automatic contributions, dollar-cost averaging, and portfolio rebalancing routines help reduce the temptation to intervene emotionally. Another critical element is setting realistic expectations. Understanding that downturns, corrections, and stagnation are inevitable reduces the shock when they occur. Long-term perspective can be further strengthened by studying market history and recognizing patterns that repeat across decades. Additionally, having an investment policy statement, a written set of rules for your investing behavior, can serve as a psychological anchor during market storms. The discipline to hold also improves when you invest within your risk tolerance, so that temporary losses don't trigger panic. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.